Jeb,
James,
welcome to The Fake Marketer.
the fake marketer.
The Fake Marketer.
Okay.
You should see the logo.
Is this a new concept?
Well, it's a concept. We had the idea 2 years ago.
Okay.
I get fed up of dog shit marketing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not dog shit, just like people just lie. Not lying. They take people for a ride. Especially when it comes to marketing, when it comes to like PPC, social, Google, or whatever it is. So I had the idea of a different podcast, a spin-off from our other one, which is Let's Run Facebook Ads, which was to interview marketing managers and also specialists in their field around a certain subject.
Okay.
And that was the plan.
Okay.
But I've not had time to get any marketing managers on. So Nick's just come in every week and we've just sort of half-assed it, really. And to be fair, Erin, who was just in here, she does me a brief every week.
Okay.
So she'll write me 2 little briefs about what it should be about, and then we discuss it. But with you, Jem, you're going to be our first marketing manager.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to go on to where you are now.
Okay.
But I wanted to start with, how did you become a marketing manager at Mill Street? Because Mill Street's been very successful.
Yeah.
And you were clearly part of that. You know, they've just been, I think it was the Tallies Award. They were like the top 100 places to work.
Top 10 in the UK.
Top 10. Yeah. So like we're here. I love it.
Yep.
The guys love it when they come in.
Mm-hmm.
And you were part of that.
Yep.
So how did you get here? And then we're going to go on to what you did when you were here.
All right, cool. Fair enough. So how did I get here? So how far do you want to go back?
Well, you were there for 2 years, yeah? So you're now left there, but we'll go on to that. So you've been here a couple of years,
we can come back to that. So I came here, I joined Mill Street when it was like a sleeping giant, like a COVID-induced sleeping giant. So I was in pubs beforehand, hospitality background. I was in pubs for 17 years. And then I'll be honest, COVID wasn't good to us. So no, it really wasn't. So, but I was front of house. And my business partner at the time was kind of like operations manager. So he was like run the operations, and then I was front of house. I then had like a real interest in like the marketing side of things. So that's where I started getting into marketing. Pubs, you swore a minute ago, so we can swear, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. So
yeah, sorry. Yeah, absolutely. There's no. No. Fucking crack on.
You said dog shit. So I was like, right. So pubs fucked up in a big way, and so I was like at a crossroads or a T-junction in my life, and I was like, well, where do I go now? And I kind of fell in love with the copywriting side of marketing. So at university, I did like film writing, and then during COVID, I was like, cool. How can I monetize writing? So how can you monetize it? I'm not going to be a film writer like I'd like the idea of. How can I monetize writing? So then found copywriting, fell in love with like the direct response style of copywriting. And I was like, cool, I'll monetize this. I'll try going freelance. And this was like 2 years ago. And I was like, maybe going freelance, this is probably a little bit too soon. So then this job became available, the head of marketing at 1 Mill Street, and applied for it. Went through a very stringent interviewing process. There was 4 interviews to get this job.
4?
4 interviews.
It's more than us.
Yeah, insane. 4 interviews.
Although you have to do a presentation for us, though, for directors. So
presentation was 4th. So
okay.
phone interview.
Yeah.
Face-to-face interview.
Yeah.
Back to meet the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Hour-long presentation.
Okay, fair. Yeah, that's pretty. That's deep. Yeah.
Yeah, hour-long presentation, and got the job. Got the job. My presentation. I think there was 130. I think it was 132 slides on my presentation. That's a lot of slides, isn't it? There's 100.
It's a lot more than the ones I give on stage. There's like an 8 of those.
Yeah, but you're probably good at like ad hoc. Like I need to.
Okay.
So then got the job and joined Mill Street in April 2021.
Okay. And then what?
Wow.
Because so Mill Street. So I knew of Mill Street before it. So it was just Nigel that owns it. We've got a mutual friend, and Nigel showed us around here before it opened, and offered us obviously one of the offices, and we were just like, no, one of our own things. You know, we've always had offices ourselves, so we decided to, you know, our lease was up to like, we'll just go and find another one up the road like we do. And I'd seen Mill Street as a bit of a, from the outside in, too cool for school type place. Not pretentious, that's probably the wrong word, but it's like, oh, fuck, that place is way too cool for us. Like, we're not cool one bit. And that was always my preconceived idea of it. It was new to the town, but it looked fantastic. It just looked, you know, when you come in here, it's brilliant. Obviously, when I first came and looked around it to then, it's been an evolution.
Yeah, for sure.
And I guess that's where you came in.
To
a degree.
To a degree. Like I'm, I can't come in and say, yeah,
it's all gems. It's all gems.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% wouldn't. So, I mean, I think it was. I definitely agree with you. There was in the early stages, there could have been a danger of it alienating a lot of people, and I think as a management team. So I was part of. At the time, like six managers. There was myself. There was Kat, who's she's now the GM of the space. Nigel, who owns a business, his wife. Then we had an operations manager, food and beverage manager. So 5 or 6, and an accounts department. So head of accounts. So there were 6 of us, and I definitely agree that in the early stages there could have been. That we could have gone down that line where it might have been alienating to a lot of people. So fortunately, I think Kat and I both have experience in the hospitality industry. And I think having that kind of inclusivity definitely helped with the trajectory of the business. So yeah, I think having that hospitality experience definitely helped with the direction, and understanding that there's so many different types of business that use Mill Street. That's like an incredible part.
It's the diversity is honestly, I every week I'm more baffled. Honestly, I come in and just like someone will say, we've had a conversation going, he does this or she does that. And I'm like. Huh?
Yeah.
Like what? It's the weirdest thing in the world. Yeah. Weird in a good way, obviously. Don't get me wrong.
100%. Yeah.
But you're catering to a lot of needs there. You know, you've got some big businesses, some small businesses. There's a lot of freelancers around Leamington area. So you're catering to those as well. So when you first came in, and obviously, from your hospitality background, obviously Kat as well. Where did you start with marketing? What was the you wrote down your plan and went, right, where do we start?
There was... the way that Nige runs a company is actually really... if you spoke to him, he'd talk about his book, a book called Traction, which is based on the Entrepreneur Operating System. And it's actually a very good way of structural organisation of the business. And you get given your department and you get given a number that your performance is based on. So I actually had a lot of ownership of the marketing and a lot of autonomy, which is great. So where do we start? Well, firstly, I remember the biggest problem was COVID. No, that was a massive issue. So these guys opened up on the first day before the second lockdown. They opened up on the 2nd of November 2020.
Brilliant.
So they had all of these new, we're opening up, guys, we're open. And that lockdown came out of nowhere. It was like Saturday night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Saturday night, we're going into lockdown, Monday closed. So they opened on Friday.
I remember that because I was out. It was fucking, we're like, fucking one last hurrah, let's have it. So we're having this one.
I was driving back from my fucking pub. Do you know, I was literally on the way back and they were like, you're closing on Monday.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, for an entire month. And I remember sometimes you'd literally be able to guess when there was going to be a lockdown or when something was going to happen because something would leak. But this one kind of came out of nowhere. So these guys, so COVID was the biggest issue, but also the fact that, everyone's welcome at Mill Street, but it's a members area. Like there's members area. So there was a massive issue between trying to translate where people could be within the building. It was a new building. It opened up during COVID, and then it was a members area, but then also downstairs you can come in and have a coffee. So that was the first issue to overcome. And I remember looking at kind of like the marketing assets that were all over the building. The first thing, what happened when you walked through, was there was a board with loads of membership details. So anyone walking into the space, the first thing they saw was membership prices. So I was like, okay, we need to move this, because if the first thing that someone says, they're not sure if they can walk in there, they're not sure if they're welcome. Yeah. The first thing they see is, this is how much it costs to come in here. So we moved all of that. The first thing we did was we moved that. We replaced it with like coffee vouchers, essentially. Come in and get a coffee. Which is
quite simple, really. I know that might seem like it's a smart move.
Yeah.
But it's quite basic. All the footfall that goes past here, and I see people all the time like, no, well, what is that place? Like, and sort of like nodding their, just sort of dipping their toe in. I've seen it happen. Mm-hmm. I can actually see now, if you'd have had that there, that would really. I wouldn't have walked in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have walked in personally. Yeah, it wouldn't have happened. Yeah. Okay, so that's smart. I like that. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so that's one thing, and then another challenge is having 6 revenue streams. So you've got your memberships. Mm-hmm. So you've got your co-working memberships. You've got meeting rooms. You've got the coffee house. You've got the bar. You've got the event space, and then you've got the podcast studio. So as a one-man marketing team, although the rest of the team pitched in when they needed to, or when I asked them. You've got 6 revenue streams you've got 6 revenue streams with 6 target markets that you've got to go out and market to, and you're technically a one-person marketing, you could say, machine if you wanted to. So then you've got the priority. So to that element, there's spinning plates, isn't there? So you've got the co-working membership, which if you look at it from revenue share, it's up there. Then probably like meeting rooms. And it's putting those priorities in place. But if one of those plates slips, inevitably the one underneath it slips as well. So prioritizing the revenue streams was really important. And especially if I'm marketing and Kat is sales, if I'm not bringing in the leads to Kat, she's on my back.
Yeah.
So definitely the 2 biggest challenges at the beginning were getting known, raising the awareness that we weren't just a members place, and then having to market the 6 revenue streams.
So how did you do that? So you just come out of COVID, the second lockdown, or I can't remember how many bloody lockdowns we had now.
Yeah, loads.
Where did you start? Did you go social? Did you go down the PPC route? Did you go down email? Did you do local advertisements in papers? What did you do?
Mainly concentrated, genuinely, and Instagram. Instagram was really, really good for us. Organic Instagram as well. That's where we were mainly getting known for. From the previous marketing manager that took over, Kira, she'd done a really, really good job on Instagram. They were already the business hadn't even really been open for 6 months, and they were already about 3,500 followers. So there were 3,500 followers, which is good. Then it was trying to scale that up, because being in Mill Street, it is the most Instagrammable place ever. The lighting's always on point. Yeah. You've got plenty of places to take nice photos. But then it's kind of like, then the challenge was, you've got 6 revenue streams to market or through social.
So social was your main priority. So that was your main. That was the main one.
Yeah. At that time, it wasn't even just social. It was just Instagram, really.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay.
Do you think you did that because of the freelance network? because that's quite an Instagram. When I look at, Leamington's quite a vibrant town when it comes to like freelancers and small business owners. I think, and again, this is just my opinion, I think you've used Instagram and you've played into that in a good way, not in a negative. I think it's like you said, it's Instagrammable, this place. I'd play into it all day.
Yeah, and I think with Instagram, it can be seen as like being a bit like shallow. But actually, I think with Instagram, we managed to show what a vibrant place inside was here. And, to start with, it was all about the space. So like, wouldn't you love to come and work in a space like this? This is a real cool space to be, not only to be seen, but to work in. And then after after exactly a year, the engagement started dropping on the social when you're concentrating on, like, everyone's seen the space. There's only so many times I can take a picture of a busy bar. There's only so many times I can take a picture of a business from Leamington having a meeting here. Yeah. And that's when, me and Nige started talking. It's like, we need to pivot and start concentrating on the characters within the building. So then the focus from the Instagram started being on who's in the building, what are they doing, what are they achieving.
Was that from an employee or the co-working space actually in businesses here?
Both.
Okay.
We wanted to see the characters, so whether that's the chef talking about the specials that are on at the coffee house, or whether that's a startup that's got a new app out, or whether that's, I don't know, have a little bit of the story of who the people in the building are, and then who the community are, because then you're personalising the community.
Because I think Mill Street have done very well in terms of that community side of things. Like, we've only been here, 4 months, give or take?
Nah, you've been here longer than that. Start of the year, must have been.
Yeah, maybe. No, because my son's... Oh, yeah, probably 6 months, actually.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Actually, maybe the term. Actually, I have no idea. But you could very clearly see that there was a good community here. Like, people dip in, dip out. You'll sort of get like the regulars that are in most days. Yeah. But then you'll get people that come in for a day a week, or the ones that have the different membership, which is like 1 day a week, isn't it? Those ones. So you've got a real community, but there's so many different people that are adding to that community.
Yeah, for
sure. Some startups, some huge businesses.
We got charities here as well. Like, we've got a charity. We've got a charity that got their own. Like, we've got 2 charities that have, this is their home. Yeah. And then you've got marketing agencies. You've got a
lot of people in marketing agencies. FYI, fucking hell. Yeah. There's a few of them.
You've got like the University of Warwick. There's originally we had Mediatonic, who designed the game Fallout. Not Fallout.
Forza.
No, not Forza. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a humongous game, and then they ended up being acquired by another company who were just huge as well. So it's like you say, it's an eclectic mix of businesses, and although everyone's from different backgrounds, there's still a without
camaraderie, isn't there? There's a bit
sure.
of that, Like I said, I really enjoy it. Since we've moved here from an office that we've only been the ones in there, I would never go back. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter how big we get, we're at some, I wouldn't do it. I think we get too much value from just meeting different people, and actually from an employee engagement perspective, I know people enjoy working here. Yeah. So when everyone comes in on a Monday, all the guys love just mulling around, all the rest of it. The guys that are in every day, Jason and that, they love it. They really do enjoy it. So for me, it's worth its weight in gold. Yeah. And actually, when you look at the cost side of it, when you factor in rates and all the rest of it, it's cheaper to be here.
100%.
By a country fucking mile.
And like you said, it's the word I was looking for before was like-mindedness. Like, there's loads of people from different backgrounds, from doing different things with a business, whether you've got guys that are literally starting out on their business journey that have just got a business concept, and then you've got like you say, this guy, you got the CEO, you got the CEO of Butlins in here, and it's great to have like-mindedness, and then the community is great, but that does take some work as well. So we've gone back to Instagram. So
we knew the organic, like I saw the organic grow and I was like, okay, this is a cool place. Pretty not too cool for us. That was the reality.
Yeah.
Like the early stage, we can't be seen in there.
And I did have to change the messaging. So I had to change the messaging because the messaging that I inherited from the brand book that I took over from the previous marketing manager was a bit too cool for school.
Yeah.
And that could alienate some people because actually...
alienated us,
Yeah.
like 100%. Like without, it's only because Luke and Jay said actually it's not as bad in there as you think. I was like, okay, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Because they were essentially talking to like the language being used. I did like the language being used, game changers and all of this, but like trailblazing game changers. But actually, it was when I was looking around, when in co-working space, I was looking around. I was like, well, a lot of the people working here aren't 25 to 35. They're 35 to 45. That was probably our main bit. Although we've definitely got some game-changing businesses in the space. That's not necessarily like the vocabulary, the vernacular that they would be using.
It's interesting though. You've seen that audience.
Mm.
So again, something that we try and the marketing manager that listen to this, it's that you've seen that. You've seen that your audience doesn't engage with that type of tone, those type of words, so you change.
Yeah, for sure.
And look at the transformation, like you've engaged us. Like if I saw a trailblazing game, I'd be like, fuck off. I'd be like, fucking hell. I just want to put my bat at the end of the court. Like, fucking hell, there's no game changing here.
Yeah.
But it would, and it did.
Yeah.
But actually you've changed that tone, and then look at, the transformation the last probably year in this place. It's been huge. But going back onto Instagram, so we saw the increase in followers. Naturally, that will decline because Meta, unfortunately, play the game. Meta then want you to do what? I want you to do paid ads.
Yep.
So when did you start running paid ads? And I'm really intrigued to see what your strategy with that was.
Okay. So with the paid ads, the two areas I wanted to concentrate on was memberships.
Yeah.
And meeting rooms. So meeting rooms, I actually went out to I outsourced that because it was getting Google Ads involved because meeting rooms was going to be more Google Ads, right? So I outsourced that because I couldn't get my head around Google Ads. Facebook ads, Meta ads, I was like, I'm going to be targeting individuals. That's the place to go.
Yeah.
So got a CRM. That's always the most important thing.
Yeah.
So we spent we spent a quarter.
What's the CRM? You love it, don't you? What's it called?
It's
really
Engage
cheap.
Bay.
Engage Bay. Yeah, he always mentions it. He loves that. Engage Bay.
I'd
never heard of it, to be fair, until you mentioned it. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, Engage Bay. It's actually, so we spoke to HubSpot and they were like, HubSpot, 10 grand. 10 grand to put it in and then $3,000 a month. And I was like, all right. No, thanks. So I actually managed to find this one. It's like, for 3 users, it's like £300 a month or something like that. And it does everything that HubSpot does. So we spent 3 months putting in the CRM and installing the CRM and then doing a lot of the automations. So at the time, March did a lot of all the automations. Then we went out. Then I was like, okay, so I'm going after freelancers. Yeah. That's my main audience. I'm going after freelancers. So came up with a creative, and then the creative led to a landing page. Landing page was an opt-in for a digital brochure about all the the benefits of Mill Street. So the creative was working from home isn't working for you, right? That was just a creative with some nice, pretty pictures of Mill Street. That then led to a landing page where it's like download our digital brochure about why we're a great place to work from. They then went into a welcome email series of 6 emails. And I was like, cool, that's awesome. About 3 weeks later, I was like, I'm not really seeing many conversions for this at the moment. And I started looking at the data and I was like, okay, people are dropping off around email 3. So I was like, okay, so what does that mean? And what I'd done is I'd actually come up with this really meticulous nurture campaign and people were all just getting bored. Like I was telling them information that they didn't necessarily need to know. So I cut the welcome sequence down by 3. I got them to the 3 emails, and the third email was basically come in and have a coffee. Because as soon as that person comes in and has a coffee, that's a sales qualified lead.
So those 3 emails, then you saw the drop off massively.
Yeah.
That free coffee was come in and grab a free coffee.
No, that was essentially my job was to get someone to come in for a tour. Let's get someone in for Kat to take them around and show them.
Sell the dream, yeah.
Yeah, sell the dream. So as soon as I get someone in through the door and they're in Kat's hands,
I'm out.
That's not my problem, right? So the dream was to get as many people in. So what I did was I took the sequence down to 3, and it just worked. It just worked. So what we then had is we had a lead generation funnel that I could turn on and off. So I just literally just go on and wallop 70 quid on Facebook ads. And when we were at capacity, I'd just turn it off. And because of the way that we worked here, it's a 30-day notice period.
Yeah.
We'd have 4 weeks notice
Cat
would be like, we've got a resident desk coming available, or we've got these desks coming available. I could just literally just turn it on, turn it off. And then another process we had was a pop-up on the website. When people hit the website, it was just become a social member.
Yeah, but can I say that pop-up was ridiculous? No, it wasn't. It was the video at the beginning of your website.
Oh my God.
So UX way, that used to annoy me.
But
going back onto Instagram, now that is... This is why I love paid social, right? Oh. And obviously, look, this podcast is jack all about paid social, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that you as a business have seen, right, our audience isn't what we think it is. We've got to adapt. We've got to pivot. We've then seen that organic social isn't working as well as we were. We'll still post on it and we'll still get the engagement we want because it'll keep the lights on, all the rest of it. Yeah. So I totally get that. But the fact that you've then gone down the paid route and you've got a funnel. So you've gone in with a plan, which is right. We know what our lead nurture form looks like.
Yeah.
We know what we've got an action for them to do, which is download this brochure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Typical, lead gen. And then they've gone into an email sequence. You've done it all and it's worked, and you've analysed and gone, well, actually those 6 aren't working. Let's get it free.
Yeah.
And look at the transformation.
Yeah, for sure.
For 70 quid in terms of ads, but I know you mentioned it. But but you then know what your cost per acquisition is.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can turn it on and turn it off. Like, Nigel and the guys will know how long an average person residency stays, all the rest of it. So you know that, right, we can acquire a customer for X money, and as long as it's under that, well done, Gem and Kat, you've done your job.
Yeah.
Going into the leads a little bit, I'm intrigued about this now, which is, what if you got a shit lead? Were you told?
As in, if it was a shit lead, as in, they were pants.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, fortunately...
Got to be diplomatic on that now.
No, I mean, no, not really, because most of the time...
You're lucky, not you, but Mill Street's a cool place to be.
Yeah.
So it's not like...
You don't get many tyre kickers.
That's what I mean. You're quite lucky in that respect.
Yeah, for sure.
Because... some of the things we sell, like telematic systems or fuel cards or drones, they're quite dull.
Yeah, sure.
They're not, people aren't queuing.
It's not a new way to work. Yeah.
They're not queuing. But I really like how with that sort of your tagline or your hook, which is work from home isn't working for you. Was that it?
Yeah, work from home isn't working for me, right. So it's a question.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Because that's the reason I started working here. So my other half was pregnant with our second child. And I knew how hard it was working at home when Quinn was born, my first. And I was like, fuck, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
No chance.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I came. And then look, we're paying X amount a month for all our users. It's just, it's the perfect lead gen.
It called out the prospect direct.
Yeah.
Straight to it. It that worked, and it it worked perfectly, and
what a dream! A turn on and off approach. Like that is literally the perfect scenario.
And it's completely isolated as well. So all you just literally need to go in and just click it on again. So
what creative, just out of curiosity, did you use?
So I just had a one by one, a 16:9 and a 9:16, all of roughly the same image, which was picture of the internal pictures of Mill Street.
Oh, was that all it was?
Yeah. I then we did a couple of other ones which were used your lovely loading screen video as well.
Yeah, no, that's fine for that. Not when you're trying to enter a website. You got this video for 2 minutes, fucking playing away.
Yeah, no, that also really killed our Google ads as well because obviously absolute bounce rate.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I ended up getting a new website.
Yeah, you shouldn't have spent any money on that. So going on there, so kudos for what you did at Mill Street.
Thank you.
Because we're here now and it's brilliant. I love it. When you left Mill Street, obviously during Mill Street you were doing a lot of email marketing.
Yep.
A lot of the copies, the stuff that you had a passion for.
Yep.
Then you turned into, and I'm going to quote this now, the email ace.
The email ace, yeah.
I'm not giving you shit. I love it.
You are giving me shit.
The email ace. There's worse names, trust me. I get shit every day for our name. So yeah, like how you've gone solo.
Yep.
You've made the jump. Jumped out.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as much it wasn't as big a jump for me as it could have been because I've been self-employed for more of my working life than I've been employed. So a lot of people with good meaning were leaning in and offering me advice, and I've already ran businesses for 11 years, so actually I knew that you need to start getting money in as a side hustle before you make the jump anyway. So I was greasing the wheels for maybe 18 months.
What a phrase. Greasing the wheels.
Greasing the wheels. Yeah, I was greasing the wheels for maybe 18 months before, just doing little bits of copy for places here and there. Yeah. So I was doing that, and then just speaking to people, seeing if they needed any help, and then I was like, and do you know what? I didn't think I was going to go into email before, but a lot of Mill Street. I did a lot of emails for Mill Street, and they were really, really successful, like really successful. I mean, for a weekly newsletter, I think our open rate was about 45%, and our click-through rate was like 8 or 9%. And
so people listening to this will know I fucking hate the term newsletter. I hate it.
It is word. It's not a great word, is it? It's not.
The thing is, if you've got an engaged audience, you call it what you want.
Yeah.
But I get them. What annoys me about newsletters, right? While I'm having a fucking rant, is that
go for it.
They send them out to an audience that couldn't give a shit about you anyway.
Yeah.
I go, hey, look at our newsletter. This is what happened this month. I don't give a shit anyway.
Yeah.
Yet you'll put it on as honestly, I don't get it. It baffles me.
Yes.
It absolutely baffles me. At least try and be creative. Call it something like
The Word on Mill Street.
Yeah, but that's me. It's engaging. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
A newsletter.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! You want to listen to the news at the best of times.
Yeah.
I don't want it in letter form, do I?
No, you're completely right.
I just don't. I honestly don't get it. But anyway, sorry.
So to calm you down a bit, it was it was a weekly newsletter, but it was called The Word on Mill Street, and essentially it was a little bit of infotainment, right? So
do you know what I'd love for you to do?
Right.
Did you ever call it a newsletter?
No.
Probably not. I'd have loved to view. I wish you had then, and I wish you'd have said when we called it a newsletter, it was 10% open rate. When we called Word on the Street, it'd have been a 60. Yeah. I'd have sat here and just gone like that.
Yeah.
But you haven't, which is a shame.
I mean, I only because I know that also kind of with Mill Street, I wouldn't have called it a newsletter.
No,
and
it's not a brand, is it?
No, exactly. We had two versions of it actually. We had the Word on Mill Street, which went out as an email, but then we had the Mill Street Journal, which was it printed out and as a.
I've seen it down there.
There we go. Yeah, there should be one in here now. So the Mill Street Journal, and then that was for the people downstairs that probably slightly older clientele that could pick it up and take it away. And all it was a little bit of information about what's happening with the people in the building, celebrating some wins, and then like the events that were happening over the next the next 2 weeks. So and that worked really well. And I just didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't know where I was going to go next. I knew I wanted to do my own thing. I knew I wanted to go freelance, and I didn't want to take on any employees.
Don't.
Do you know what I mean? When COVID hit, I had 50. Like I had 50 of them, so I definitely didn't want that. So I kind of wanted, that whole one-man agency, and then with email, I can do the copy. I still get to have fun with it, like some of the design.
Well, you said to me earlier, didn't you? I've got a fun week this week, a bit creative, and I was like, I'd actually look forward to that.
Yeah, it's nice.
Rather than like Sonny coming in, have you done that thing for Luke? No, I haven't.
No, exactly.
Admin.
No, yeah, exactly. Admin at the best. So it's actually nice actually going, I can actually do some creative stuff, whether it's like, the copy, the design, and I still get to see the impact it has on the business. So I actually can help with the business because I can say, right, okay, that's, if it's an e-commerce brand I'm working with, I can see the attribution from that email campaign to how much money it's generated. So you still get the business development side of stuff that I enjoy, but you get the creative side and you get, I think
that's what you miss actually as you grow a little bit and you're sort of one part removed from clients day to day, especially like I was speaking to someone earlier and they're like, how's that going on? I was like, I don't actually know exactly. I have an idea, but I don't know exactly, what the attribute, what the rest of it. I was like, I do miss that because I do quite enjoy that. But going on to email, so I love email.
Yep.
I think it's still one of the most underutilized forms of marketing.
Yep.
And I think, unfortunately, with the rise of social and the digital age, email is one of those where it's like, newsletter. Like, it's something I've got to do in a month, but there's no love, there's no attention, there's no automation. You, as the email ace, you've obviously seen a gap, even though email's been around for 15 years.
It's been around since the beginning of the internet. It was the first thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but so...
And it's like, it's still to this day, it is the highest it's the highest return on investment of any marketing channel.
Yeah.
Without, it's something like 46x. Every pound you spend, you can get 46 pounds.
Well, Nick and I always use this example. So we went, and this was about 8-10 years ago, we went and spent a lot of money with a copywriter called Drayton Bird, who's based in Bristol. Do you know him?
I know him very well, yeah.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of money on him. He wrote our emails, right? Him and Gerald. So he took us out for lunch. Loves a bottle of wine, that boy.
He is quite a character.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
he is a character.
Me, Gerald, Nick, and Drayton sat there in London.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. So we put some serious money behind it, and we spent about 15 grand on about 4 emails. Don't quote me on this because Nick knows the exact numbers. We did £1 million on those emails.
That's the difference between he is they talk about A-list copywriters. He's there. There is probably no more than 10 people in his bracket. He is up there. There's yeah, he's insane. I did not know that you'd not only met Drayton Bird, but actually
yeah, we used him. Yeah. I didn't like the invoice. Nick was like, Nick was like, let's do it, and I was like, we'd won a massive deal.
Yeah.
And we were like, right, this is our growth now. This is our data business. I was like, I'm not sure, but he said, no, we've got to do it. And to be fair, we both then sat down and was like, right, let's just do it. Fuck it. Let's go all in.
Yeah, for sure.
And looking back at it now, it's the best thing we've ever done. I now look back at them sometimes and go, wow, we need to get Gerald, who sort of works really close with Drayton, to redo these.
I would,
but I'm scared of the invoice.
I would love to read them. If you got them, I'd love to read them.
Yeah, no, I will do. Honestly, they're brilliant. The worst thing is, you read them and go, this is easy.
No, it's not.
No, but you look at it and think, God. Yeah, but honestly, it's amazing.
I think it was either it was Mark Twain or Abraham Lincoln said, I would have written you a shorter letter, but I didn't have enough time.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Because it's just what it is.
Yeah.
You can write when you write, you literally you write and you regurgitate onto a page, but turning that into a concise email that persuades, engages, compels people to take action, and maintain their attention for that entire period. That's worth 15 grand.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it is. I honestly, I look back at it now, and it was the best investment we've ever made.
And an education for yourself as well.
We learned a lot, during that sort of, because we learned copyright, sales. We didn't have money at the time for any agencies. We literally just sat and just absorbed the books.
Yeah.
And it's paying off now. It didn't for 15 years.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm bold. But that, looking back now, that time we spent with Gerald and Drayton was, investment wise, was the best thing.
Mate, I can only imagine.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant.
Wow.
For marketing managers out there who still don't see the value in email, what would your message to them be?
Okay, so the way that I say it is the way that I've always said is social media. You should be leveraging social media to grow your email list, because social media, that platform could disappear at any moment. Like that is an earned audience. You don't own that audience.
Well, I call it renting eyeballs.
Yeah,
it's
exactly
you are leasing the eyeballs.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing.
There are people that their businesses completely solely rely on social media.
Yeah. Let's run social.
yeah.
Any clients listening, please please switch off now.
But no, paid social is different to, I think, organic social. I'm talking about people that are building their business completely on organic social media. They invest. So I see some people that, like, sometimes in Mill Street, I see people spending hours on a social post that they might get 3 or 4
I feel
likes.
very bad saying this. I see a few people around the office on the odd occasion, and I know they're putting so much effort into that Canva, and I half go, not feel sorry, but it's just, how has it come to this? Yeah. Why have you not seen, like, you're going to get 8 likes and it's the same 8 people that like the last one's like, and I know it sounds really harsh, but that's the reality.
Yeah.
And it's and I get, I won't say frustrated, but it's just,
you've got a bit of empathy for it as well.
I have. It's obsessed in a way. We've got a mutual client who they wanted to continue with us, and I said for the time being, no, stop what you're doing. Let's just look at the results. Because like you said, we give a shit. We actually care.
For sure.
But I do see some of that, and I'm like,
and what you could do, so let's say, for instance, you've got 100, let's say you've got 1,000 people that like your page, and you spend 2 or 3 hours creating a Canva or whatever it is, and it goes out. At best, with organic, you will have 5% engagement.
It's actually so only between 1% to 3% of those 1,000 will even see that post. Exactly
that, and that is insane. So you've got that stat. Now, say for instance you grew a list to an email list of 50 people, but you sent an email out every week or every day, whatever it is. Unless you've got deliverability issues, which do happen, let's say 99% of those people are definitely going to see that email. Because everyone checks their email box.
Yeah, and they're going to see it. Even if they don't open it, no, but they'll see it. That's the key point.
Exactly. There. And then once they'll see it, they've seen it. They might not open it, depending on how good your email marketer is. There might be 20%.
I know a guy.
People are definitely going to see that. Whether they engage with it is completely different. But you could put a social post out. You could spend 2 to 3 hours putting a social post out. Let's be honest, 97% of those people that follow you aren't even going to see it.
No.
So when you're looking at return on investment of the pounds that you spend, you've also got to look at the return on investment on the time you spent. So if you spent 2 or 3 hours designing the perfect Canva to put out, that's when people aren't measuring how much time. No,
and I think that's where a lot of when it comes to social, they don't look at their internal costs. And we've got a marketing department, it's fine, and we see a lot of our clients will have boards, directors, senior leadership teams going, we haven't seen a post for a week. No, because I'm fucking making your money over here, like with actual stuff. Like, and I'm not saying organic social is bad, but it's fucking tough. Like, you've got to really stand out. You know, it's tough. We've got some really cool brands that we work with, and even in some of those audiences, which are quite niche, it's hard. It's still hard to cut through the noise.
I mean, but with organic social, the whole point of it is to turn that into an owned audience. So leverage that and get those people on your email list, because if Instagram, or, you know, if Threads takes over X now, you know, people's livelihoods are completely built on X. But if they've, you know, a lot of the good X influencers, the Twitter influencers, they're building an audience.
I think everyone should be being able to building an email list.
100%.
You know, whether it's a purchase list, MIB data, or you're creating it via, you know, competitions or what, you know, any means possible. But you know, for me, email is still one of the most underutilized channels in most marketing departments.
100%.
And I think it's crazy that it's still overlooked. And I think the fact that people won't invest in it, or they won't see the value to invest in it, is scary. But yeah, so for marketing managers who won't invest or aren't investing, what do you say to them, Jim, as a final thought?
As a final thought, well, invest your time wisely in the highest return on investment marketing channel,
which is email marketing. That's it, Jem.
Thank you very much, mate.
You're a legend. Thanks, sir.
Cheers, buddy.
I've enjoyed that.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Cheers.